All right. According to the powers that be, we are live here for yet another edition of Folk U. In fact, it's our 22nd remote edition of the pandemic. And this is our 20th year of Folking You in here in Chicago. And one of the pluses of the pandemic, if one can call it that, is that for these last 20 plus shows, we've actually
pandemic, if one can call it that, is that for these last 20 plus shows, we've actually
I'm getting an echo from somewhere. Could be if somebody has a Facebook page open.
I'm getting an echo from somewhere. Could be if somebody has a Facebook page open.
It'll just freak me out. That's all. All right. That did it, whatever that was. Well, I mean, maybe it's just as well if I'm freaked out. I don't know. But
I thought, do I need to be muted? Hi, everyone.
Yeah, you probably do. I guess that answered that, because I had my tab open for it, but I don't need it, and I closed it, and I could still hear the echo. But that's what this is all about. This is
how can I mute my mic while I'm not?
Well, you're okay right now, Carmaig. I think that you're because I'm not hearing any echo. And then
right, but I turned away the other page, so
yeah. I think you just need to like reopen that tab when you're doing your magic.
Yeah, I'm not getting an echo right now.
So
do you have Facebook open also?
Yeah, I almost panicked, closed it when I was getting hearing the Larry echo, and I'm glad I got stopped from doing it. So
yeah, you don't want to hear doubles of me, believe me. So one is enough. So
no, it's great. It's a digital delay.
Yes. So anyway, I was blathering already. So what that did is that deblathered me and brought me back to the core here. And the bottom line is 20 years of this singer-songwriter round robin here in Chicago. Normally we do this in the live setting. And again, the 22nd, this is our 22nd non-live edition. And then there were a few months in there when nothing happened because, hey, early on in the pandemic, I think I just like was in my tub and, and drinking heavily, but that's another story. So just quickly, what is a round robin? My suspicion would be that anyone who might be tuning in, or a majority of people who might tune in, would know, but I'll give you my take on it. It's an opportunity for songwriters to get together and to play shorter sets among their peers. There's different variations on this, and the way that we've done it pretty much these 20 years is that there will be 3 passes between the 3 of us, for a total of 5 songs from each of us. And the only other caveat is that it's original material that you've either written or co-written. And the plus of this kind of thing as well, I get to hear fantastic songwriters every month, and that it sort of takes the pressure off of having to come up with or not come up with or perform a whole set of material. It's kind of better in some ways to just get a taste of what the person's capable of doing. And again, 20 years, it was actually in December was our 20th anniversary, but we usually don't do a December show. And so I just decided this whole year, starting off this way and probably getting back to the actual in-person version, we would just celebrate the 20 years for the whole year. Why not? And so I'm really pleased to have 2 first-time folk viewers here. And then in the case of one of them is somebody I have performed with before, but not for quite a while. And so let's just go in the order on the screen here. I mean, I'm Larry O'Dean, your host for all these 20 years. And then Carmaig DeForest, a friend of mine going way back to when I lived in San Francisco. I'm so happy to have him here. Again, one of the big pluses of doing this digital version of the show is that if I wanted to get out-of-towners involved, which I have in the past, it's had to jibe with their schedules, and we've worked it out way in advance. And so here I am. I can see Carmaig again in all his glory and hear him soon enough. Again, we were in San Francisco together many years ago. So Carmaig, good to have you here.
Good to be here.
And then Phil Yates, who is coming from somewhere in Chicago, as I am. Carmaig is abroad, and this is a first time that Phil has played, and I've not actually met Phil until now, so I'm really thrilled. I love the stuff of yours that I've heard online, so I'm looking forward to hearing it here, coming from the man himself. So thank you for being here tonight. Oh yeah,
yeah. Thank you, Larry.
Ain't no pressure. So I think that's pretty much all that I have to say. And I know you both probably want to like decompress a little bit before you're up for your little set. So if there's nothing else, I will send you down to the metaphysical green room, where you can do your deep breathing and meditative prayers and whatever it is. And then I will see Phil in just a moment, and then Carmaig will follow Phil. So to that, Phil, see you in a second. I'm going to send you down. Carmaig, I will see you in a couple seconds beyond that. Hang tight. All right. Well, I got through that with a modicum of shame. I guess a modicum is not so bad. It's usually a fuller regimen of shame. And so, wow, glad to be here. I can't believe it's April already. And I'm gonna get ready to play for you. And I had gotten back to playing my lovely Martin, and fairly early on doing these remote versions of the show, I started to, and I think also just because I was missing my band and stuff, I started pulling out the electric guitars and setting up amps, at a low level, and playing those just to play them. And then of course I have this smaller scale Gretsch, which is just so, look at the ladies on there, and it's not something that I normally would play at a folk you show. And I thought, well, this is perfect opportunity to actually use this thing in the way God meant it to be used. And so I'm going to open this. I thought that my yammering had ceased, but as you can see, it hasn't. So I think the best thing I can do is curtail it by playing a song. And the first one that I'm going to start with is one of the newer ones. It's not recorded. I have some other stuff that's been recorded, and we'll get to that in due time. And I think this one is pretty self-explanatory, certainly in terms of the title, which I'm not going to say because it kind of gives away what I hope is a good kick to the solar plexus when it does come. So I'm just going to start with it, and hope you like it. Here we go. Funny, things have been a little weird. You've been acting distant, but it's worse than I feared. Call it a midlife crisis, with all that it entails. But instead of leasing a Jaguar, you've been blasting out emails. Don't send me your dick pics. For them I never asked. Don't send me your dick pics, or I'll just have to send them back. Don't you find it inappropriate? Doesn't it seem kinda wrong? And dumb using your smartphone and texting me your schlong. It's not that I am prudish, I keep an open mind, but been opening an attachment. It's not a dick I hope to find. Don't send me your dick pics. Don't send them to me. Don't send me your dick pics. It's something I just can't unsee. Maybe you need a vacation. You've been working every day. I never guessed that overtime was being used in quite this way. This way. Lesson. This kind of thing won't do. I expect to never again receive any dick pics from you. And if the urge should strike, you shouldn't snort and scoff. It may be the only answer then is to chop that dick right off. Don't send me your dick pics. For them I never asked. Don't send me your dick pics, or I'll just have to send them back. Or I'll just have to send them back. Or I'll just have to send one back. Oh, all right. Dick pics, yes, indeed. That would be the title of that one, not Mississippi Molly or something like that. So I guess could try to get away with that one. So the next song I'm going to do is one that I had said I was doing some that were pre-recorded. And this is the most current piece of music I have out for sale. Wow, I can kind of just move it across the screen. By my band, The Injured Parties. This came out in 2019. And we're going to do a song from Product Placement. And today is the 15th of April, so it's tax day. And yeah, I do have a good number of songs about money, some more aggressively about money. Some more subtly about money. I guess that would be the opposite of aggressive. It would be more subtle money songs. But this one I thought would just do the trick. And I haven't played it in a while. And again, I think the title will be apparent once it kicks in. So I'll let it be discoverable. And I hope you like it. Junior buys his books. Junior throws a party that's off the hook. Mother's car won't start. The engine light is lit. She rings AAA for a lift. And that's why God made credit cards. 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 Baby in his diaper, babysitter in her skirt. Mom and dad eat dinner and have dessert. Sister gets in trouble with the boy next door. Just the kind of trouble they can't afford. And that's why God made credit cards. 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 And up there in heaven, he laughs until he cries. Father away on business, charges the company card whenever he gets lonely and it gets hard. The big bank CFO sitting 60 stories high solves Sudoku puzzles until 3:45. That's why God made credit cards. 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 Oh boy.
All right, Larry.
Yes, well, both those songs definitely set an agenda for myself, I guess one could say. You know, I almost started to crack up there because, two things, you know, I mean, one, especially over the last couple of years, you know, I began to realize lyrics take on different meanings or different significances. And, you know, in this one here, I started thinking Sudoku. I guess Wordle might be more appropriate now than Sudoku. People probably still playing Sudoku. Just also, I remembered we played a show, The Injured Parties, when we first started playing this song, and we used to get these mailers for credit cards. You know, there was like a bunch of them coming out at one time. We were talking about it at a practice where they would put like a little cardboard fake credit card in there.
Yeah.
So at these band rehearsals, we were like, oh yeah, we've been getting those like every day, and it's driving me nuts. And I was like, listen, hold on to the cards, keep them. And so we did one show when we had like, I swear it had to be like about 100 of these stupid cards. And like to the middle of the song, we were like throwing them out into the audience. And I remember people were like kind of grabbing at them and they were so excited until they looked and they realized that they were fake. I guess they thought that they were getting like $5 cards or something. And then they were these cards. And I remember seeing some people like just actually like, enjoying tearing these cards up. I was like, well, at least they got some use instead of going straight to the shredder. So
I know, you work it out yourself, just
yeah, exactly. I put the work on them anyway, but it worked for that one show, and I think after that it's like, well, that's
too much work collecting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm going to make myself scarce. I'm looking forward to hearing you. Anything else that you wish to say before I vanish from the moment here?
No, you just set the bar super high.
Oh, well, it's nice to hear. Normally I try to lower the bar as much as I can. So it'll get lowered by me next time, believe me. So
okay, good. Help me out.
So looking forward to it. All right. We'll see you next time around.
All right.
All right.
Hi, folk you. I am Phil Yates of the band Phil Yates and the Affiliates right here in Chicago. Previously bounced around playing in, there was an older version of the Phil Yates and the Affiliates out of Burlington, Vermont. But, we're Chicago now for the past 5 years. And new record coming out hopefully in July on the Detroit label Future Man Records. So be on the lookout for that. Pre-orders are going to be set up here really soon. But in the meantime, here's one that was a request from my family upstairs. So it's called Burn It Down, Bernadette. It's from 2 albums ago, from an album called No Need to Beg. I could tell you, I came up with, it wasn't that, the name Bernadette was on my mind. It was, I think I was listening to a Lydia Lovelace album, and the way she said burn it down, it sounded almost like Bernadette to me. And so I immediately paired the two together and got to work. And so here you go. When there's smoke, there's fire. Still we couldn't read the signals that this affair would expire. All ash, it smolders. The pair is better off as singles. We rise up as we get older. The perfect items to burn in effigy, taking all the best parts of you and me. Lather, rinse, repeat with kerosene. There are too many sorrows left for us to drown. So burn it down, Bernadette, burn it down. Burn it down, Bernadette, burn it down. Has the past been scorched? Or is it seared into your memory? You still carrying that torch. In the middle of the dark, not sometimes but every, you're still searching for that spark. perfect items to burn in effigy, taking all the best parts of you and me. Lather, rinse, repeat with kerosene. The embers will spread from town to town, so burn it down, Bernadette, burn it down. There are too many sorrows left for us to drown, so burn it down, Bernadette, burn it down. The embers will spread from town to town, so burn it down, Bernadette, burn it. Burn it down, Bernadette, burn it. Burn it down, Bernadette, burn it down. All right, I know you're applauding at home. I could hear you through the screen. So thank you, thank you. Keep it down, everybody. This next one was off my last record. The record's called Party Music. Inspired by one of my all-time favorite records, Get Happy, by the one and only Elvis Costello. And I kind of borrowed the fonts from his Taking Liberties record for the font on the actual album. But anyway, this one's called Send Him the Bill, and hopefully you all enjoy it. Why wouldn't you, right? We'll see. And it's weird on acoustic. Normally with the band, this is a really, really loud, raucous song. So this will be sort of the more as laid back as possible. We'll see. Bastard, he's the lucky one. A bastard just the same. Though he's done nothing wrong, there's still plenty to blame. Lying on you, doing all the lovely things couples do. Still you think that he's a catch. He picked all the locks and he lifted the latch. All I'm asking is for a chance. Come on now, I think you see it in your glance. Choice is yours now, is it the chase or the kill? The price to render something tender. But you're sending the bill. Honey, I could shower you with praises if I may. But my weak power metaphors could keep us here all day. I'm not asking you to lie, just stop constructing those alibis. There's no reason to go around and let the hands on the clock be the only ones that give me the time. All I'm asking is for a chance. Come on now, I think you see it in your glance. Choice is yours now, is it the chase or the kill? The price to render something tender. Won't you send him the bill? Bastard, bastard, go on and send him the bill. Why don't you send him the bill? Go on and send him the bill. Come on and send him the bill. It's shorter without the guitar solo, but thank you, thank you. Those were my two, and Larry is going to come back in, and there's Carmaig ready to go. I think you're still muted, Carmaig. Or
he is still muted. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be the Lord has stepped in. We don't want. He's unmuted. Now I'm going to go back.
Okay.
Back to my unconscious state. Here we go.
I also found Get Happy and Taking Liberties to be very inspiring records, and that font too. I dug that font back in 1980. I think I used it myself for a poster.
There's the rip off there.
There it is. Yeah, I forget the name of it, but it's
yeah, there it goes.
Anyway, I'm going to do my 2 songs. The world is burning, the world is burning, the world is turning to a great ball of fire. Fire's forming, the globe's already warming, the dire warnings only preach to the choir. The earth is baking, the soil is caking, the reservoirs and lakes flooded with mud or else bone dry. The fields are frying, the crops are dying, 100 child's crying, why, daddy, why? You'll understand, kid, when you're older. Nothing is forever, no time ever lasts. There was a time the world was colder. That time is past. The world is heading to Armageddon. The fire's spreading, getting hotter and hotter. A hot tide is rising, there's a blood orange horizon with fire in the skies and smoke on the water. Child, when you're older, nothing is forever, no time ever lasts. There was a time the world was colder. That time is past. The world is burning, the world is burning, the world is burning. The world is burning, the world is burning, the world is burning, world is burning. Second song. What will you be wearing when he comes to take you home? Will it be your corset made of pale whalebone? Or will it be your boots of gold because of how they shine? Maybe you will leave me a cardboard Valentine. You know I'm gonna miss you when you leave me here alone. What will you be wearing when he comes to take you home? And what will you be doing when he comes to take you back? Will you be putting decals on the doctor's Cadillac? Or will you be on the sidewalk shoveling the snow? Will you have your bags all packed? Will you be glad to go? You know I'm gonna miss you when you leave me here alone. What will you be doing when he comes to take you home? And what will you be hiding when he comes for you? Are you gonna hide that hurt that made you blue? Or will it be your craziest dreams about how the world should be? How could you go hide something you couldn't hide from me? You know I'm gonna miss you when you leave me here alone. What will you be hiding when he comes to take you home? And what will you be singing when he comes to take your hand? Will it be a joyful tune about the promised land? Or will it be a lullaby to help the baby sleep? Maybe you will leave me something I could keep. You know I'm gonna miss you when you leave me here alone. What will you be singing when he comes to take you home? And what will you be hiding when he comes to take you home? And what will you be doing when he comes to take you home? And what will you be wearing when he comes to take you home? Thank you, Larry.
So you can hear some actual applause here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know if you can notice down below, you can sometimes see the phantom clapping going on down there too. It's only phantom because you can't hear it, but it's definitely applause is happening. So I love both of those, you know. I also loved how you cracked up in the other song. I don't know if you kind of like lost a lyric or something for a moment and you just like totally went with it. It was one of those beautiful moments.
I just try to be in the moment whenever I perform.
You are the epitome of that, my friend. So it's good to hear you again. You know, I pull out my DeForest product quite often. Anyway, and
nice.
Of course you have the reissue of the album with produced by Alex Chilton that is pretty fabulous.
Yeah. It came out at a time that I wasn't able to do much to promote it because I just kind of took a long break from all of this while I started a family.
Yeah, well, good reason.
Yeah, no, there's but that was great, and that was really, thank you for mentioning that. That was a really wonderful time to get that reissued. I know you're a big Alex Chilton fan, and it was wonderful, even though he wasn't around, to just get back into that zone and that time, and it was really became my opportunity as I was dealing with the record company and the mastering and getting interviewed for the liner notes, etc. Just to I kind of mourned him in a way that I wasn't able to when he died of a heart attack 7 years earlier.
It's horrible, right? I mean, yeah. He's somebody who started in the business so young too, and then seemed to be, you know, impervious to that kind of thing. It goes to show, you know, like you'd think he's got so many years left, you know, and
right, yeah.
And then of course there he is having a heart attack, you know, mowing his lawn in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So sad. Well, I hope other people, if they know you for that they seek out your other stuff as well.
Well, I hope they do too, Larry.
Yeah, you have quite a litany of material and something new, which, yes, you still do owe me. You still owe me.
I do. You are right.
I'm putting it on the record here. So now, if I need to, you know, pull you into court, then they can make this could be Exhibit Z.
It will be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
of your latest.
And it's the, you know, anyway, I will get that CD out to you, and I appreciate that you bought and hopefully are enjoying the download from Bandcamp.
Of course.
But yes.
Yes.
Yes,
But I'm a physical media guy.
yeah.
I
Oh
like,
no, I totally hear you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Nothing like the real thing.
So in this next set, not the next song, but the song after it is a San Francisco inspired song. So I made a point of I think I play it fairly frequently anyway. It gets a lot of mileage, although I haven't played it in a little while. And I thought, oh, I've got to play this one tonight because you having been there at this given time will perhaps get a kick out of it. Maybe not, but we'll see. You'll tell me later if you did. But I had to throw it in tonight. So
Wonderful. I'll look forward to it.
well, hopefully you'll be looking forward to it. We'll see. You'll tell me later.
I'll look forward to it. I may be disappointed, but I'll look.
There we go.
I'm looking forward to it now.
Keep it on the positive.
Okay, get me off the screen and get
all
going.
Right. That's all right. Well, you sounded great. Thank and
you.
Looking forward to hearing more. All right. The man needs a break, right? Oh, yeah, there was a little moment there. I guess the Lord is speaking to me. I see what it is. That signal looks awfully weak for me. I'm like right by my router and all that too. Well, if I go in and out, hopefully I won't go completely out. This is not a problem that normally happens. The weather is a little funky here, though. It was raining and stuff earlier, so well, I'll blame it on that. But the next one I'm going to do, and I will make my way back if I get kicked out, is actually the newest song that I've written. And I actually debuted it last month right after I had written it. And it was one of those things where, I mean, anything goes, right? But I'm not the sort of person that normally like, oh, I just finished this in the car and I can't wait to play it and does it, finished it on the way to the gig and played it at the gig. But in this case, I had finished it and I thought, let me try this. So it's undergone a slight change since last month. So we'll see how it still sounds, because one of the things that's as a songwriter for this that I appreciate from doing this kind of show is that you can try out new material, and there's definitely been stuff I've played and not played again in the past, which is not to say that I won't play this again, but that this is an opportunity to like road test something new. So it's still maybe in the semi-grappling stage and figuring things out about it, but I think it's good enough to play tonight. So again, the title will be pretty obvious right from the get-go. Hope you like it. I'm a little disappointed in myself. I didn't do that thing I should have done. I didn't get up early and take a run. I thought instead I'd have some fun. I'm a little disappointed in myself. I raised my voice when it didn't need to be. All I was thinking about was me. Wish I could lay myself across my knee. I'm a little disappointed in myself. I really meant to come out to your show. It meant a lot to you, I know. I promise next time I'll go. I'm a little disappointed in myself. I miss testifying for you in court. I helped some kids build a tree fort and dropped my neighbor off at the airport. I'm a little disappointed in myself. Is this the boy my parents raised to be the man everyone praised and spoke of thoughtful and amazed. I'm a little disappointed in myself. Perhaps I raised the bar too high. I'm only human, one day I'll die. All this potential unrealized. I'm a little disappointed in myself. I'm gonna put these thoughts to bed. Shove them right out of my head. Making room for something else instead. I'm a little disappointed in myself. It definitely doesn't need that kind of ending, does it? Yeah, you know, and the inspiration for that came to me. I think I actually mumbled that phrase to myself about something. I'm a little disappointed in myself. And then I just started thinking about ways in which one could be deemed disappointing, or could auto-disappoint, or could disappoint others. Yeah, I think I liked it, hearing it better this month for sure, with its tweaks. I think it's better. It's definitely jammy and simple. This one's a little bit more intricate, and this is the one I was speaking to Carmaig about, and in the interest of promotion. So this is from my most recent solo endeavor, an album called Good Grief, that was produced. Well, it was recorded in various places, and produced is the optimum word, but mixed by the great Chris Stamey of the DBs and various other production jobs and bands. And speaking of, he's one of the major architects of this Big Star Third live show that continues to play and is well worth checking out. But Chris is amazing. Worked with him in the past prior to that album as well, too. He's just like a great producer. And so this song is called Heather's Diary. The first one I've been able to say the title or deemed that I'm going to tell you the title up front. It's the one I was talking to Carmaig about. And it's like a compendium of people that I knew when I lived in San Francisco, which is quite a different place now, and don't even get me started. I left there in '95, and after a couple of years, I came back, and my wife and I were going back, and she had never been there, and she loved the city, and we were making trips back every couple of years. And the last time I went back there, I was just too sick of the place. I couldn't take it for various Twitter-related reasons and what have you. But I mean, it just was. It's kind of gross, but the city itself is just so inherently beautiful. But it has this magnetic draw to certain types of people. I guess I was one of them. But this song is a compendium of these types, people I either met or that I heard stories about that were usually not favorable stories. And again, it's called Heather's Diary. It's probably my favorite song off of the Good Grief album. The arrangement on there is just really not. I love it. It's just in some ways came about through accidental means. Is the best way for me to put it. But now I can't imagine it any other way. But here's the acoustic version. Heather's Diary. Heather's candles smell just like patchouli. She lit them up all around the room. Said it was a method for relaxing. With that said, she put on her costume. Kimono was the clothing she most admired, for comfort and style as well as for ease. With it on, her mind was free to wander, stimulated by cups of herbal tea. She has a book where she writes her innermost thoughts and dreams. For her eyes only, Heather's diary. She shares her pad with a roommate named Carol. But Carol was a boy and not a girl. His father was a banker from Vancouver, and Carol had traveled all around the world. Once he moved in, Heather developed a crush on him. For Carol was a handsome young man. She made him breakfast every single morning. Eggs and bacon sizzling in the pan. Then one night Heather walked in on Carol kissing his friend Barry, and wrote it down in Heather's diary. Politics is something Heather cares about, though she admits there's lots she doesn't know. Her mother was a staunch Republican who called the neighbors next door Negroes. Since she moved out and went away to college, it's been a real learning experience. She took some classes in existentialism, tried some drugs and had some kinky sex. The things just happen, and when they do, she records them honestly in the pages of Heather's diary. Writes it down in Heather's diary. For her eyes only, Heather's diary.
That was a cool tune, Larry.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it takes me back to those halcyon days of groovier than now people, and a lot of legitimately cool people. But have you ever been to San Francisco, Phil?
I have. I like. I've been there a handful of times. When I was living on the West Coast, I lived in LA for 3 years, and we would head up to San Fran every now and then, and I enjoy it.
There's no other place. There's no other place, quite like it in terms of the feel of the city. And
yeah.
I mean,
Other than getting food poisoning in Chinatown, yeah. Like, my wife and I went on an anniversary trip to San Fran, and I think we were in this little bed and breakfast in Nob Hill and walked over after driving all day to Chinatown and hit one of the first restaurants we saw. And then we each got food poisoning and had to like take turns in our like little tiny closet bathroom in our lovely bed and breakfast. So it made for quite a romantic weekend.
Quite an exciting. Yeah, I don't mean to be laughing here, but it's like I can imagine how just something like this would go so totally awry. That happened when I wasn't the first time I was in New York, but many years ago, I went with some friends and only was going to be there for a little amount of time. I was looking forward to it. And then of course went to get Indian food, and it was a place that a friend had recommended as well. And they felt horrible about it. And it's like, well, you didn't do it. You didn't put anything in the food, I hope, but it really can put a damper on things too, when you're on a schedule. Right. So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I will turn things over to you on that diuretic note there, and we'll wash those thoughts out,
right.
And we'll get on to nicer stuff. And looking forward to hearing some more material from you.
Well, thank you, Larry.
Yeah.
All right. So this song is one of my oldest songs, going back to when I was in grad school doing coffee shop shows and being acoustic openers at punk shows in South Carolina. But for some reason people really attached to this song, and then I stopped playing it because one of my friends who I really valued their opinion told me it was his least favorite song of mine, so I stopped playing it for a long time. And then as the affiliates and I were putting together a pandemic record, which is what I think every band is doing over the past 2 years, I always like having a nice round number like 10 songs on each record. And I was thinking, oh, we're at 9. What else can we do? And I introduced this song to the guys, and it's going to be the closing song on the next affiliates record. And we'll probably never play it out live as a band because my guitarist thinks his guitar solo is too long. So get yourself a lead guitar player out there, folks, who thinks overly long solos are too much. That's perfect for like the power poppy stuff that I do. But I started thinking about this song a bit more when I would get random messages from people on my Bandcamp page saying like, well, where's this song? So coming to vinyl and CD and download soon. It's called Ode to a Cafe Waitress in Montreal. And it goes something like this. I saw God perform his act for about 3 hours. It wasn't to you that I believe he's true. I walked in for a cup of coffee and was greeted with something in French that was said by you. Times like these that I wish I didn't take Spanish in high school. Times like these that I wish I didn't take Spanish in high school. I tried hard not to be a moron, just an oxy as the role of the polite American. Mesmerized by your blue eyes and raven hair. Is that an all-body tan? Mr. McCartney, if you're there, I believe I found Michelle. Could you translate for me? Sunday market, what you been on song? Would that even help me? 'Cause Lord knows I need all the help I can get. Times like these, sure wish that I knew French. I got my cup of coffee and left you all $2 Canadian that I had as I walked out the door. You smiled at me and I smiled back. I wanted to say goodnight, but all I knew was bonjour. Times like these that I wish I didn't take Spanish in high school. Times like these that I wish I didn't take Spanish in high school. Mr. McCartney, if you're there, I believe I found the shell. Could you translate for me Sunday market Archibald song? Would that even help me? 'Cause Lord knows I need all the help I can get. Times like these, sure wish that I knew French. It'd be fun to kiss you in French. Sure would like to tickle you in French. Sure wish that I knew French. Merci, merci. Oh, it looks like there's private chat here. And for those of you who are not in the private chat, we're talking about food poisoning here. This is another one of a song that it's going to be rare when the affiliates and I play this off the new record because it's mainly acoustic. It's called The Door Number 3. So The Door Number 1 was one of the first songs I wrote a long time ago. I think like 97, 98, something like that, which is a long time ago for me. And I never really liked the lyrics. You know, I liked the music. I didn't like the lyrics. And so The Door Number 2, I rewrote the lyrics for the past election. And, you know, luckily, the presidential election went the correct way. So I didn't have to use those lyrics for another 4 years of disaster in Trump's hands. So I rewrote this a third time, and here we go. Basically inspired about, you know, everyone having, you know, trouble, you know, when you're juggling work and everything else during, you know, pandemic and, you know, quarantines and stuff like that. So a happy-go-lucky song. It's The Door Number 3. Like a dead bird that's trying to wing, like a mute trying so hard just to sing. I can't seem to do a goddamn thing. No applause, there won't be an encore. Should I grab my things and walk right out the door? Go through the motions for another night. Cruel to begin when it takes just one light. Burn it all down, you know, I just might. This Denmark rights to the core. Should I grab my things and walk right out the door? Now my stomach's in knots. Breakneck speed goes cold to hearts. Shoulda, coulda, woulda got a little to means a lot. A soliloquy that is being spied. Beggars, choosers, you have to pick a side. After all the years, you're such a lucky bride. You're still the one that I adore. Should I grab my things and walk right out the door? You're still the one that I adore. Should I grab my things and walk right out the door? Should I grab my things? Should I grab my things? Should I walk right out the door? I said, should I grab my things? Should I grab my things? Should I walk right out the door? Coming to an album near you this summer. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, so you seem you're talking about opening punk shows, but you seem so young, Phil.
I've aged well, I should say.
Or not at all, as the case may be.
Yeah, so no, I'm 46. I'll be 46.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's
but yeah, that was
that's pretty young. I'm gonna do a song that touches on history. So you know who Jim Jones is?
Yep.
Recognize the name?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good. And you know who John Hinckley is?
I do. He's I think he's actually playing in Chicago because like he just got like I think he's out of jail now, right? And got like
I heard that he is. Yeah.
He's playing like Logan Square Auditorium here in Chicago. It's
wow.
I guess if you try to shoot Reagan, then you get like top billing at a big venue when you get out.
Okay. Well, those two characters are I reference in this next song. This is an old song. Larry was talking about how I was a record I made in the Reagan era with Alex was I wrote this song back then in the mid 80s during the Reagan administration. And so when the reissue came out just recently, as I said, I wasn't able to promote it much, but I did do a few shows and so there was a few songs I had to update and this is one of them. And I guess it's also kind of appropriate for Good Friday because it's called Hey Judas. Ooh, this is not in tune though. Okay, that's it. Hey Judas, what you doing down here? Hey Judas, what you doing down here? The kiss that you gave Jesus, it sent him to the cross. You killed yourself in shame while he suffered for our loss. You were bad. That's what you're doing down here. Hey, Adolf, what you doing down here? Hey, Adolf, what you doing down here? You infected people with your hatred, put the Jews behind barbed wire. You murdered 6 million while the smokestacks billowed higher. You were bad. That's what you doing down here. Hey, Jim, what you doing down here? Hey, Jim, what you doing down here? You promised comfort and salvation to the poor, the weak, and the gentle. You took everything they owned when they signed up for your temple. Then you led them to Guyana where you force-fed them poison. You were bad. That's what you're doing down here. Hey, John, are you going there too? Hey, John, what did you go do? You weren't too nice to Jody with your phone calls and your letters. Lots of us get lovesick. You could have handled it better, but you thought you'd be a hotshot. You went and took a pot shot at the president of the United States, a very popular president of the United States who was instituting policies based on greed and hate. But you didn't care about that when you set his date with fate. You just fired a gun and your bullets merely grazed him. He made jokes on the way to the hospital. You hardly even faced him, and he became that much more popular after his brush with death. He became even more popular after his brush with death, just like Jim Jones with his Kool-Aid or Judas with his kiss. I said, John, you did a bad thing when you missed a set. Hey, John, it's too bad you missed. I said, hey, John, it's too bad you missed. I'm not sure that you damned, but it's a damn shame you missed. Fast forward 30 years. Hey, Ronnie, you've arrived at last. It was June 5th, 2004. They flew the flags half-mast. They flew the flags half-mast. Some people grieved, but not me. I celebrated. In fact, I believe that on that very night, my firstborn was conceived, and I'm a lucky man. Now I have two, and I teach them all about you, all about you, all about the things you did, all about the things you tried, all the facts that you distorted, and the times you outright lied, and your sleazy money grubbing friends who you stood by your side, and how 241 boys died to your dumb pride, and how you waged illegal wars in the Persian Gulf and Nicaragua, and how you put down the Bill of Rights for cheap fundamentalist dogma, how you supported fascist death regimes, how you ignored the needy, how you blinded everybody preying on their fear and greed. And that's how you were elected to do your wicked deeds. And even while you were campaigning, how you sowed the seeds of the fascist onslaught that spread like weeds this past 30 years. And how we all live in fear of democracy. democracy being destroyed. Democracy is being destroyed, and I fear for my two boys. I teach them all about you. And if they have children, they're gonna hate you too. I'm gonna teach them all about you. I'm gonna teach you. Hey, Ronnie, I hope I get to live to be as old as you. My grandchildren will gather round, we'll play a little game. I'll ask whatever happened to, and then I'll name a name. I'll name some bad men. I'll name the worst. They'll make their grandpa proud with their answers well rehearsed. Yours will be the last name. I'll say it with a grin. I'll say he used to be the president. Where's he been since then? They'll answer Ronald Reagan burns in hell with Judas Adolf and Jim. They'll answer Ronald Reagan burns in hell with Judas Adolf and Jim. They'll know that Ronald Reagan is burning in hell with Judas Adolf. Judas Adolf, Newt, Carl, George, Rush, George, son of George, and Dick, Lindsay, Donald, and Mitch. Ooh, that might be the worst one, Mitch. And Jim. Thank you. Okay. Whew. I mentioned in as we were chatting and having kids, and also in that song, my oldest Dinko, when he was 3, he started to write this song, and we finished it together. It's called My Swimming Underpants, and if you're at home, you can join along. It's very easy. My underpants are swimming in the water. My underpants are swimming in the water. My underpants are swimming in the water. Oh, my swimming underpants. I take them off, and off they go. They swim fast, they swim slow, up on the surface or down deep below. Oh, my swimming underpants. Okay, all you singing along at home, sing now, it's river. My underpants are swimming in the river. My underpants are swimming in the river. My underpants are swimming in the river. Oh, my swimming underpants. Second verse. They do the backstroke. They do the breaststroke. They do the side stroke, they do the crawl, they do the butterfly. River otters clatter by and say, oh, my swimming underpants. I can't hear you, but I know you're singing. Now we're at the ocean. My underpants are swimming in the ocean. My underpants are swimming in the ocean. My underpants are swimming in the ocean. Oh, my swimming underpants. They've wakened. Okay, we'll do that again. Everybody, you know the first verse by now too. I take them off, and off they go. They swim fast, they swim slow, up on the surface or down deep below. Oh, my swimming underpants. And now the second verse. They do the backstroke, they do the breaststroke, they do the side stroke, they do the crawl, they do the butterfly. Whales and dolphins all say hi to my swimming underpants. They're my swimming underpants. Oh, my swimming underpants. Thank you.
You know, I'm tempted to say you couldn't have two more disparate songs than those two, but in reality, they work perfectly fine together. The word craft in both of those is incredible.
Okay.
No,
well, there you go.
It's amazing.
I was singing. Of a piece.
I was wailing away.
Good.
Yeah. Very catchy ditty.
Yeah.
Very Dada ditty.
It's fun to. It's a fun one. It's a fun one to do. We were at my Dinko. That's my son's name. He wrote it. We were just driving out to the country, and I think we went over a bridge, and he just started singing "My Underpants Are Swimming in the Water," and he sang it. He kind of that tune too, and I just thought, okay, Dinko, you're onto something. And so anyway, that's that, and it's fun to sing with kids or adults in the audience. So.
In all seriousness, it's amazing when something like that just kind of comes out semi or fully formed, you know, and he was singing the melody then, right?
Yeah. Just.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm blown away. Love it.
Okay. There you go.
All right, man. So
well, this is one of the few recorded versions available on Facebook.
For now, right? All right. Well, I will see you in a couple minutes again. Sounding great. I loved hearing Hey Judas, of course. You know, if you didn't do that, that would have been fine with me. But I think that's a song that I could never tire of hearing of, especially with the ad, and a song that you can always add on to, I think, which is great and sad at the same time, right?
Yeah, it is. And yeah. And again, thanks for mentioning that album is reissued. Maybe in your liner notes you have a link to it. I mean, that was put out by a legitimate reissue label that
Omnivore. They're pretty good.
It's on Amazon and all the usual places where you can buy mainstream stuff.
Highly recommended. Okay. All right, I'll let you catch your breath.
Turn you over.
All right, thanks.
You, sir.
He's being very tolerant of me here, I can see. But yeah, I mean that it's back here somewhere. This is the bonus area. I mean, our whole apartment is the bonus area, though, unfortunately, because it's definitely in need of a reshelving effort. But I know that Carmaig's reissued. I Shall Be Re-Released. Originally, I Shall Be Released is back on the shelf here somewhere. The newest stuff is out there. So yeah, out there. I can just gesture. All right. So wow. I'm really enjoying this. Both Carmaig and Phil are sounding fantastic tonight, and they've not heard me say this before because it's their first time playing this, but month to month, and even as we are emerging gradually from the last couple of years when things have definitely been worse, it's still month to month. Like, my favorite thing is to just sit back and listen to great songs being performed in my midst. So so I'm feeling it tonight, and honored to have them both here. So for my last song, for my final pass here, is another song that was previously recorded, and it's on this album, Fables and Slang, from a band I was in called Post Office. It was the first band that I was in when I moved to Chicago, and came together fairly quickly. And in deciding every month deciding the sets for this, I try to go back over what I call, not pretentiously at all, the Dean Oeuvre, and I'll say, I haven't played this before, or I haven't played this in a long time, or whatever. This is a perfect opportunity to do it. But this song from the Post Office record is one that I have frequently played for this, not in a while now, and this album was the first time that I had worked with Chris. Prior to and he's done some other stuff, some singles. But Post Office was a power pop band, myself and another songwriter in the group. And in planning the set for tonight, I thought, well, I got to play this San Francisco centric song, because that's where I met Carmaig. And then knowing that Phil is a power pop guy, I was like, well, I should probably play something that's poppier. Definitely am still and always have claimed power pop roots, whatever you want to call them. But I think I always also too was drawn to the songwriting aspects of power pop for sure. But it's like, I think Alex Chilton is the perfect kind of person to evoke here, because I'm a big Chilton fan, but it's like the super pop side of him is not the stuff that I like. Third is my favorite album from him, and the first Big Star album that I heard, which is not really a Big Star album, but then again, there you go. And I'm also a big fan of Like Flies on Sherbert. Got to say that right, which many people are befuddled by, and Chilton pushed back against this pop stuff when people wanted him to only play the poppiest of the poppy, September Girls. But for my money, you can't get a better song than September Girls. Anyway, I'm going on for too long about this, but I think he was pretty masterful at doing the pop stuff. But I think when I had a fuller appraisal of him, I began to realize that I think I'm fonder of some of the weirder things, and some of the aspects of pop music that deal with songwriting I can totally relate to, but maybe my own stuff is less poppy than I once thought it was. But this song is pretty straightforward, a pop song. Wow. Long introduction, right? I'm unfortunately, that's an earmark for me. It's called Over Here. Come on over here. Come a little close. Come on over here. I ain't no ghost. It's been a long, long while since I've seen you smile. I forgot what it's like when your face is alive. Come on over here, where the view is good. Come on over here and knock on wood. You're not superstitious, but just in case, I can't stand to say goodbye again to your face. Come on over here. We have no guarantees. I won't hurt you, and you won't hurt me. We were different people back then. What's done is done, and your eyes are still beautiful in the morning sun. In the morning sun. In the morning sun. In the morning sun.
Nice.
No sustain there, but yeah, that's probably as power poppy as I get. Although I don't know what I was blathering about there, but I'm longtime pop and a power pop fan. I guess at one point I felt especially the need to clarify it as power pop versus pop, because then pop started to become, and this is even out of date now, but like Britney Spears, and that kind of thing became pop, and probably that is still more what people think of pop now. But I mean, I've just always thought of like well-crafted, melodic music as being pop. And then you put the power pop in there, though, you add the power, and then I can like, oh yeah, like the Records or the Raspberries or the Who, I mean, that's the, you can't do any better than, Kids Are All Right.
Did Pete Townsend coin the phrase too?
Yes, I believe he did. Yeah, I believe he did.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah. And they are like, but practitioners of it par excellence.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. But enough about that. Time for you.
Thank you.
So let's hear what you got up your sleeve, and you do have sleeves too.
I do.
Don't let it drop out yet. So, and then again, we'll catch you at the end. So when you're done with your last song, that doesn't mean you roll up your carpet and you crack open the Chardonnay. It's still gotta hang out.
I'm still here. Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. So looking forward to it.
Okay. Thanks, Larry. Yeah. So talking about like power pop stuff, I always felt like my band has always, gotten sort of lumped into that. I always say it's either pop songs played loudly. That's probably more our thing. And also sort of the my ceiling as an artist is being a cult artist in a cult genre. I think that's another way to describe it. But anyway, this is from a couple records ago. It was Yates and the Affiliates record called Oh So Sour. And this song is called She Has Your Name. And I was really proud of this one because it was basically written with me eavesdropping, hearing a couple or at least the guy wanted to be a couple. It sounded like with the woman at the bar. And I was there to see a friend's band play. And the guy was just trying so hard. And I found out that the woman at the bar had the same name as my wife. And so like I started to weave a story as I'm watching these two at the bar. And hence this song called She Has Your Name. At the bar, the band is bashing out another drink and two. From afar, she motions me over, a siren in a saloon. due to some heavy spirits. Down, down go my defenses. Pushed us way past our limits. Now recalling the sequences. Before we point fingers, before we assign blame, you can't call it cheating when she has your name. You can't call it cheating when she has your name. After hours, love and trust slip through my shaky and trembling hands. Oh, so sour, cruel mornings, hangovers and one-night stands. Is it due to my negligence? Have I used all my excuses? What's the price of the penance? We're begging time to bruises. Before we point fingers, before we assign blame, you can't call it cheating when she has your name. You can't call it cheating when she has your name. Before we point fingers, before we assign blame, you can't call it cheating when she has your name. You can't call it cheating when she has your name. Thank you, folk you.
Yeah. You can't call it cheating. I like it.
Thank
Can't
you.
call it cheating. Hi. Anyway, well, thank you, Phil. I appreciated that. That was good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
We have it reminds me of a song by my friend Jeff Burner, who he has a song saying that says it's a matter of where you draw the line. So kind of relates. Anyway, nice. Larry.
Yeah. Yo.
Hi.
Hello.
Let's see. See this?
Oh, what? Uh-oh.
This is an envelope.
Oh, don't let them see my address, though.
Okay, I won't let them see your address, but
it was blurred.
This is Idiot Strings.
Oh, thank you.
And it's going in this envelope right now. So.
I shamed you into it. All right. Shame had some positive use tonight.
Yes, that's right. Well,
Normally it's
you guys are both so good at promoting your stuff while you in your talk, and so
now people can see that you get your stuff out right away. That's what they
yes,
can see.
that's right.
Right in the middle of the damn set.
It was kind of an anomaly, but normally I do, and I don't know why, Larry. That didn't, but I don't want to discourage people from going to bandcamp.com and finding me. Basically, if anybody wants to find me, my first name Carmaig, which is right there under my face. There's very
myself here, so you can keep the and I'll take Phil out too. Phil, you're good.
What's that?
That was my last one.
Yeah, well, we'll come back around at the end. But
I'm sorry. I thought we were moving on here.
Oh no, you have one. You have another song.
I have one more song. Yeah, so I was just kind of getting into my spiel.
Oh, I wanted to give you full reign. I like just popped in because you were calling me, and I thought, oh no, there's trouble in paradise.
That's right. Realized, no trouble. Okay. It's all it's trouble-free paradise here in Seattle, Washington, where I live.
And I can't vouch for it being trouble-free paradise in Chicago, but I mean, in Uptown, it's pretty quiet. So I'll take that for right now.
Yeah.
I will see you in a second.
Spring in Seattle is usually a situation where you have you can have 3 seasons a day right now, but right now it's sunny. So, okay. Anyway, hi. So I wanted to end with this song. It's a song I wrote at the turn of the century. It's called In the Year 2020. I was just kind of looking forward. I was on a songwriters tour with Chuck Prophet, Noe Venable, Ian Brennan, and a bunch of other characters while we were all in a van going from town to town on the East Coast. And I had been working on this, and I finished it up, and I got the thumbs up from Chuck. And so that I knew I was onto something. And then I recorded it for the record that is on Bandcamp. It's called Idiot Strings, and the song is called In the Year 2020. And I didn't realize at the time how prescient I was, and maybe the song's now set in the past, though the way 2020 was, it seemed like 2021 rolled around, and other than a different president, things were pretty much the same. We would go in and out of quarantine and all that. So it was like, December 2021, I think, was just like, you could just, call that an end of the year 24/31, 2020, and then of course 2022 is 2022. And so here we go, in the year 2020. In the year 2020, 'twas a time of good and plenty. Fine food on the table, downtown streets paved in gold. Dow hit 20,000, did someone say 25? We were all having the time of our lives, and then the shit came down. Yeah, it fell by the bucketful. The shit came down like some biblical plague. The shit came down, yeah, it just kept coming down. Time will tell, but I don't think the smell will ever go away. I was packing the kids' lunches when I heard the beating on the roof. Power died, I looked outside, Emily screamed. I told the kids to duck and cover under the table. I went to shut the windows, it smelled like a stable when the shit came down. Yeah, it fell by the bucketful. The shit came down like some biblical plague. The shit came down, yeah, it just kept coming down. Time will tell, but I don't think the smell will ever go away. We gathered up our batteries, canned food and bottled water. Got our radio working, but no stations came in. Charlie caught a fever, and Claire, our youngest daughter, couldn't keep her food down. We were running out of water, and the shit came down. Yeah, it just kept coming down. The shit came down, straight down from the sky. The shit came down, it was piling higher on the ground. I thought for sure my family and I were gonna die. On the seventh day, the panic turned to quiet. Standing by the window, we all held hands, watch it covering the rooftops, coating all the treetops and blanketing the ground like snow, only brown. A break in the storm, we grabbed the shovels from the basement, forced the front door open, dug our way to the truck. We loaded in the kids, engaged the four-wheel drive. I still can't believe we got out alive. It was the year 2020, there was changes aplenty. Streets paved with gold were all laid to waste. Cleanup crews in the news, I refuse to do interviews. Luck is a word I use, but life's been harder ever since the shit came down. It fell by the bucketful. The shit came down like some biblical plague. The shit came down, yeah, it just kept coming down. Time will tell, but I don't think the smell will ever go away. It never goes away. It never goes away. It never goes away. It goes away. It never goes away.
I hope Carmaig is still there.
Yeah.
There he is. I like the dramatic that it never goes away, and you actually walked off, but then to bring the uke up. For anyone who would have tuned in, I think they would wonder, what am I hearing that? It's definitely ukulele, right? Yeah, but we got a little uke shot there at the end.
Yeah, I didn't. I wanted to. I realized that it wasn't coming in the thing, but
yeah,
yes, there it is.
High drama. Yeah, and listen, before I didn't mean to extricate myself, but I thought, oh, you're building up to your last number here, and I just came in because you were calling me, and it's like I did the dutiful thing, and then I thought, well, I should get out of here and let you rock it out, and then of course I took Phil out too before I think I'd asked in passing, but then he probably was shocked too, but I think we survived.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, we all got
fun.
Got out in one piece.
And how appropriate is that? Yes, you know, to have written that many years ago, and then to suddenly find how horribly appropriate it is in so many ways. Wow, you're prescient.
I know. I was telling my kids that I should have written a song about winning the lottery in the year 2020. The shit coming down,
and about llamas flying through the air. That would have definitely add that to the winning of the lottery. I could go for that. Yeah.
Well,
next time
the muse nudges me to sing about the future.
Yeah, but that's it. You were both fantastic. I'd so appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to be here, and especially Carmaig, you got the time difference, you know, that works well. I mean, I guess what is a schedule at this point? I think that is still debatable, but yeah, I'm imagining it might be slightly more difficult for you coming in earlier as it is. You know, we used to play when we did this live, it was later, and then we started moving it earlier into the evening for various reasons.
Right. I think I did one of your, you might have been out of town, but you booked me for one of your folk use back early in the early 2000s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you didn't play it though, right?
I did, yeah.
You did. So you have played this before.
I think it was a folk use show. I don't remember exactly. Maybe it was just at the venue that you would hold Folk You.
Yeah, that's probably more like it, because I would have definitely, like I mentioned in the beginning, I've had international people play. It tends to be mostly Chicagoland performers, but that just would come down to people contacting me, hey, I'm going to be there for that day or for that evening, and occasionally me reaching out to people, and if they'd could plan something around it. But
Yeah.
mostly by dint, it's local. So I think I would have remembered that. But my memory is,
Right.
it's good in some ways, but in other ways, it's just not good. It's not great. And so
I
if
hear
you
you.
had said that, I would have thought, oh shit, you have played this before, and I would have felt
Yeah,
again
maybe it
only
wasn't.
moderately ashamed.
My memory is.
You probably would have. It probably would have been a venue, and we have been housed in a couple of different places, so it probably was you might have seen like a Folk You poster or something up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, it was good to have
you. You had set me up with a show in Chicago.
Now that could be it as well. I could have arranged
back in the day, and maybe you were telling me that you were doing this thing too. So
yeah.
But anyway, and
Yeah.
so Phil, there's going to be notes about where to find you and the affiliates in the online and whatnot on the.
Oh yeah, yes.
There's show notes.
Both go ahead and plug whatever you want, and after the fact, you can go back to the video and you can add comments and responses to anything. You can do it after the fact when people go to look at it, because it's on Facebook, so it's still active for that kind of thing. But yeah, what since Carmaig was so deftly guided that, Phil, what gigs and such do you have coming up?
Well, our next one is we're going to be playing the IPO Chicago at Montrose Saloon. So our half-hour set is next Saturday, the
23rd.
23rd. Yep. So Chicago time, we'll be doing 4:15 to 4:45. So a quick 6-song set. And then we are trying to fill out the post-pandemic dance card for, to get ready to push the new record. So I'm in talks with my local record store, Tone Deaf Records in Portage Park, to doing an album release show sometime in first weekend of August. And then July, I think the plan is we're going to be on the road for a week. I'm trying to piece together the dates and where we're going to be. So I think we have our final stop of that week planned, and day 2 and 3 planned. But a lot of moving parts right now. But you can find us on so philyates.com is sort of the main webpage, but I need to update it. It's really badly coded. But philyates.bandcamp.com is where you can get a lot of stuff. You could also find me through the record label we're working with. Future Man Records did her last record, this one as well. So, and then Facebook, Phil Yates and the Affiliates. Find us.
One thing is, it's easier to find people now. It's maybe not so easy if your band is called like The Men, something like that.
That would be tough. Yeah.
It's gotten to be a lot easier to track people down, which is good, for musical endeavors and such. So
yeah.
Carmaig, how about yourself? What's going on?
I don't. I'm still basically in a hiatus, though. Occasionally popping out for things. It's kind of like if I'll do something if someone pays me a bunch of money to do it. So I did a house party recently, and as our friend Ned told you, when the Violent Femmes wanted me to open for them at the Fillmore a few years ago, it was like, they covered everything, and I got home with cash in my pocket. So that was, or they covered, or the concert covered everything. But it was just, that's I don't really play regularly. I play very irregularly, as you've probably noticed. But anyway, no. If anybody wants me to do a house concert, I have a good house concert thing that I can do. But it's just you just have to make me an offer that makes sense. And you can find me.
And you have
Google the name Carmaig, you'll find me and a bunch of weird Gaelic texts from the dark ages. Okay.
You're an appropriately named man, considering the gist of your material. And then you have the new album, and it's carmaigdeforest.bandcamp.com, right? That's
it. Yeah. All one word, carmaigdeforest.bandcamp.com. There's Idiot Strings, and if you search Carmaig on Amazon or whatever, you'll find on or anything, Amoeba, or your local record store can order it, because it's the Omnivore stuff is like distributed by Warner Brothers, so it gets
it's easy to get, and
it's easy to get. You have to ask for it generally. I mean, it's not like you're not going to see a cutout of me in your record store.
Well, I don't know. We're gonna work on that.
And how about you, Larry? What's on your plate?
Oh, well, just the usual, I do this every month. I mean, I sort of miss playing out with the band. Normally I would do IPO, but I'm just not doing anything like that. No live shows yet. I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
I've done some, I have a book of, I'm a poet as well, and I've got a chapbook that's coming out in May.
Nice.
I had another, I have a full length that's been delayed by the pandemic that was supposed to come out 2 years ago. And that is probably going to come out later in the year, but maybe more next year, I'm thinking now. But so suddenly I have a reading to promote that'll be in person to promote the chapbook, which is ekphrastic poems. So poems around, written around art, based on art. So it's a thematic collection. And then I hope to do, the band is going to do some recording. I think that I can manage that. It's the, it's the being in a restaurant and whatever. I'm not, no, I'm not there yet.
Yeah. It's rough. I mean, you kind of think about, it's like, well, people are starting to go out, and then, then you hear about another variant down its way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be too paranoid, because I'm really not a paranoid person, but I just, I mean, it's a kind of well-trodden path here. I just don't think, I think there's still, we need to be a little more careful when it comes to musical things, which I miss quite a lot. Unfortunately, I'm just don't think I can do it, but I will keep doing this in the meantime. And like I said, the recording seems like a good next step.
Good.
So thank you for mentioning that. But people know about me. I mean, to hell with me. But once again, thank you both for being here. We'll be back next month on the third Friday, but not with these two fine gentlemen. So, I'm giving applause for Carmaig DeForest, for Phil Yates. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry.
And we will officially wrap this up, but you guys stay put. Don't fly off yet. And then we'll say a couple final things in private. But in the meantime, thank you for being here. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next month. So now put on your best face. I guess I give a thumbs up here, and then go to the end broadcast. Here we go.